That's it. Get over. That's it. Walk in, don't matter. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
1, 2. Boom. Got it. 1 here. Good. That's better. Do it again. 1 here. Here you go. That's 1, 2.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
1, 2.
I'll tell y'all what I'm looking at.
1, 2. That's right. Double check.
It's only 55 seconds.
Get under his wide hook. Get under it. Yes, sir. Get under it again. Yes, sir.
Man, that was dope. What's up, everybody? OMB. Hey, look, I appreciate y'all subscribing to the channel. Do subscribe if you're not subscribed. And hit the bell icon so you'll be notified for future videos. What I'm looking at is Deontay Wilder shows off vicious power and speed in new training video as he targets next fight after Tyson Fury fight. You know what I'm saying? He looks good, man. He looks good. It seems like he's working. His new trainer. What is dude name? I just had it in my Malik Scott. You know, he's showing them some, like, for instance, when he strike, how to do those little subtle moves to get away from punches. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that's very important because when you're squared up, you're easy to get hit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm digging that. But let me say, I appreciate y'all subscribing to the channel. Do subscribe if you're not subscribed. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified for future videos. Now, about this Malik Scott, this is all this video has to do with training. But anyway, I don't know a whole lot about Malik Scott, you know? Not a whole lot. Heard the name, never really seen him fight or whatever. But I heard the name like many times. And this here is to talk about some comments that were made about Deontay Wilder versus Mark Breland. Yeah, you know, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I like to give different angles. You know what I'm saying? This has nothing to do with Tyson Fury. So you damn Tyson Fury fans, get the hell up out of here and go on about your business. This ain't got nothing to do with Tyson Fury. This is all Deontay Wilder and who he had in his corner, Mark Breland. Now, if I'm correct, you are a product of your teacher. And Deontay Wilder is a product of Mark Breland. Now, Mark Breland did say he didn't listen at one time. I heard in the interview. But Teddy Atlas has some things to say about Mark Breland. And I'm going to go ahead and play that.
I do. I know Mark Breland, oh, Jesus, over 40 years. When he was the legend of New York Golden Gloves, won about 5 of them. People actually pulled out of the gloves not to face him. I mean, he was just he was like Tyson was later in the amateurs. People would pull out of tournaments not to face Tyson in the nationals, and that's what it was like with Breland. He was knocking everybody out with that right hand. Tall, skinny guy, 6'3", whatever, and a welterweight. He was like a Tommy Hearns, and you know he was a gold medalist in the Olympics. He wound up winning a welterweight world title in the pros. I mean, this is a guy that understands what needs to be understood when you work in a corner of all the things that to look out for that can happen and what your responsibilities should be.
Now, you heard what Teddy Atlas said. Now, here's some choice words. This stuff, the stuff I'm about to play now is the stuff that came from the fight that Mark Breland had with Marlon Starling. He got knocked out by Marlon Starling first fight. Second fight was a draw. You know what I'm saying? But it shouldn't have been a draw. And this is audio from those fights to show you how he was viewed at that time, because these guys are older now. When you get older, you change, you know. I mean, not everybody, but when all this money that they got, they start having sympathy, especially when they want to go against somebody. So they start having all this sympathy, and they start coming up with how great this guy was, and this, that, and the third. Well, here's some other audio about what Marlon Starling and other people had to say. And then I'm going to play another clip after that to bring it all in a nutshell. Here you go.
I would love to break his jaw.
That's the gospel according to challenger Mark Breland, whose career until recently was an unbroken string of successes and the object of all his opponents' jealousy. 5 Golden Gloves championships, an amateur record of 110-1. Then the ultimate recognition for an amateur, the Olympic gold medal. When he turned professional, Breland signed a 7-figure contract and began to eyeball opportunities in movies, modeling, and of course, music of what some thought was unearned fame.
Now listen to this part on how he was viewed. Right before, after all, everything was all out in the open. Listen to this.
For more on this bout, let's now go to Larry Merchant.
When they fought last August, Marlon Starling was saying about Mark Breland, in effect, the Emperor has no clothes. He was saying that he was a product more of hype and merchandising than the ring wars. He was saying that he was a star because he was a star, not because he had proved that he was a star. And then he went out and, in effect, he stripped him down and exposed him rather nakedly as an emperor with no clothes. It's true that Mark Breland had a brilliant amateur career, but he didn't look that great when he won a gold medal at the Olympics. It's true that he's a good-looking kid, tall, with an interesting and style and a good right hand, but he hasn't been that successful, or at least that overpowering and exciting against the ordinary fighters he's been put in with. And yet everybody kept insisting that this kid was a star, that he really was the right stuff. Everyone except Marlon Starling.
Now, isn't that kind of contrast to what your boy Teddy Atlas was saying? This is Larry Merchant talking. He's an expert. You know what I'm saying? Am I correct? Is he not an expert? You know what I mean? So, hey, y'all can say what y'all want to say. But my point is this. How could Mark Breland teach Deontay Wilder something that he doesn't even know how to do? When Mark Breland did get the belt back, and if I'm correct, it was the WBA. It was after Marlon Starling vacated it to go for the IBF, if I'm correct. You know what I'm saying? And Marlon Starling he was a short guy, 5'8", versus Mark Breland, who was 6'2". Let me see. Yeah, Mark Breland, 6'2", 77-inch reach, and your boy Marlon Starling was 5'8", my height. I'm like a half an inch taller than him. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't even notice that if we were standing next together. And his reach was 73 inches. He lost to that guy, but it was the experience. You know what I'm saying? Marlon Starling had all the experience, and he knew how to get in there and do his thing. You know what I'm saying? And his defense. He had his gloves up. He had one of them the defenses where he can have his gloves and his elbows will block his stomach. He'll scrunch in. You know what I'm saying? He'll be a hard target, move side to side, almost like a peekaboo, but not quite. It was like a peekaboo style, and he'll get in there and just go ham on it. You know what I'm saying? And turkey and chicken and everything else. You know what I mean? And he lost to people like Johnny Bumpus. So these are people that I don't hear talked about. You know what I'm saying? I don't hear none of them being talked about as good fighters. These are people who were possible heirs to Sugar Ray Leonard. You know, Donald Curry and them, they was all talked about, oh, these people supposed to be the next Sugar Ray Leonard. Well, the only name I hear now is Sugar Ray Leonard. You'll hear nothing about those other guys. Not even Marlon Starling. He was a damn good fighter, man. I mean, 45, 6-1. He lost to people like Michael Nunn, Maurice Booker, you know, Donald Curry when Curry was doing a little something, you know what I'm saying? So he got knocked out, you know, and I believe he got knocked out by Lloyd Hennigan. No, he didn't get knocked out. He beat Lloyd Hennigan. It was somebody else. But anyway, it was a whole thing that went on there. It was a good era, but how could Mark Breland teach Deontay Wilder something that he doesn't know how to do? And if you watch Mark Breland old fights, yeah, he's more polished. But when he got in trouble, he looked just as awkward as Deontay Wilder. So how could he teach Wilder something that he didn't know how to do? And look, you heard Larry Merchant talking to tell you how the get down went with him. So all this talk that people be talking and saying this and saying that about how he went, that's all out the window, man. We in the information age, B. You can find whatever you want. I do my research, apparently. So now that he got a new trainer, are we gonna see a different Wilder? We should. You know what I'm saying? He looks good in that. You know, you look good in training. He looked real good in training. You know, look strong, fast, and then like I said, when it looks like Malik Scott is incorporating defense into his offense. So when he strike, he has the little subtle movements. You know what I'm saying? So when you strike, you move. When you strike, he's already out of position for you to strike him, and then he can counter. You know what I'm saying? And that I've seen a lot of that. So I'm like, oh, okay. Basically teaching them the basics. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing Wilder get out there and fight y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm just giving y'all the scoop on that. You know, because I think we're going to see a different Wilder. I think we're going to see a more polished Wilder. You know what I'm saying? And all y'all can say what you want to say. That he didn't listen and this, that, and the third. And yada. Well, after a while, you know, I mean, the teacher couldn't tell you. He didn't know what to do. He never been in that situation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that Wilder was in champion so long and then lost it. I mean, hell, Mark Breland got his, when he got the WBA, he lost it the first fight he had. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the first defense he had, he lost it to Marlon Starling. But anyway, I'm just saying that because, you know, I like Deontay Wilder. I don't ever give up like all these other folks do. You know what I'm saying? And look, guy's a good guy. He gonna do his thing. He using his head. Yo, Wilder, do your thing. OMB signing out. Peace.